What's up, guys? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Growing Up Hip Hop LA. This is season 6, episode 4. The episode is titled Loyalty is Dead. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, we actually start this episode off with Cree, JoJo, and Angela meeting up. So, this is where Cree was able to show JoJo and Angela the venue for this anniversary party. As we already know, JoJo wants to throw something nice for Tenise, and he has Cree handling all of the event planning. So as she's showing them the place, at first I feel like JoJo was a bit iffy about it, but overall I feel like the place had a lot of potential, and I was like, okay, cool, Cree is going to kill it. I have faith in her. So JoJo, he actually ends up coming up with this idea that, well, since Cree, she has a lot of connections with Slip and Slide. I guess it's Slip and Slide Records. And he has his own label or whatever he's doing. He's like, well, maybe we could have a showcase, and I would love for us to partner up and do it. And she's, totally down for it. And he has this bright idea of, oh yeah, well, we could have Egypt do it. No Sam, but I really want to, have Egypt participate in the showcase. And I'm like, dude, you already know Sam is not going to let Egypt perform without him, because according to them, they're a package deal. I feel like there's a few other people on the cast who could be a part of this showcase. I know that Brianna can sing. I know that Twist is supposed to be an artist. I feel like there's a couple other people, but okay, whatever. He wants to have Egypt. Cool. So he ends up getting a call from Tenise, and that leaves Angela and Cree to talk. So through this conversation, the whole time I'm thinking, this is completely awkward. I feel like in the beginning when Cree was asking Angela questions oh, how's Miami? Did your boyfriend win the fight? Everything was, oh yeah, I'm good. We're good. Everything's good. I'm just like, everything is not good, but okay, girl. Secondly, I feel like Cree was really trying to get to know Angela, but I feel like Angela always has a guard up when it comes to meeting new people, which is something that we have seen over the years, of this show. So as the conversation continues, we learn that Cree has been in a situationship, and she doesn't exactly know what they're doing. We also learn that Angela has said, I love you first, probably, and she really does have all these feelings for this guy, Daniel, which I feel like she's putting on at this point, because slowly but surely, I feel like we are seeing less of him and hearing less about him. Alright, I really want to move on to this next scene, which was Savannah, Twist, and Brianna. First of all, here we go back at Savannah's small apartment that she swear costs 6 G's a month. I don't believe at all. I know LA is expensive, but girl, you're not paying $6,000 for that. Twist ends up showing up. So when he shows up, you have him and Vanna having this conversation about how, she met up with Sam in Egypt, and Boogie, and her and Boogie are going to go on a date. And of course, Twist is like, Boogie, he's a cool dude. He's a good dude. It should be fine or whatever. So at that point, we have Brianna showing up. Savannah ends up getting the door. Brianna brings gifts for her, wine and stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. So the ladies are getting along. I feel like, once Savannah was talking about how she met up with Sam in Egypt and Boogie or whatever, that's when things got a little interesting, just because, Brianna is not feeling any of those people. She's not really friends with Sam in Egypt. And then as far as Boogie goes, she's not feeling him because she feels like Boogie is disloyal. And I mean, I get it. He definitely should have told Sam, okay, you gotta chill out talking about Brianna because I'm cool with her. But that's not what Boogie does. That's just not exactly in Boogie's personality, I feel like. Because he's not very confrontational. I mean, I do feel like Brianna wasn't going too hard, though, because at the end of the conversation, she's just like, just keep your eyes open and peep game on what everybody be doing. And I'm like, that's pretty sound advice at this point. So I really want to move on to this next part, because that is the part that really frustrated me this episode, and that would be Peppa and her daughter Egypt having a conversation in Peppa's bed. So I'm going to skip right over the whole Egypt going on this double date. Who cares? The fact that Peppa literally sat on her bed talking about oh yeah, I just want to talk about what Dawn was talking about, because we already knew all this stuff that was happening with TT, but we didn't throw it in her face. I'm sorry, what do you mean we already knew all this? Why did you bring your sister on this show just so that you could throw this stuff in TT's face? And that you could go ahead and have your sister, who hasn't talked to the family in who knows how long, throw this in your niece's face, and that way you can hide your hands and act like you had no parts in this. This was new information last week. But this week, you're telling a whole different story about how you already knew that TT's man was cheating on her. Like, make it make sense. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not feeling Peppa or her daughter Egypt. Because honestly, the way that Peppa described the situation, saying that TT came to her crying about how he was cheating on her with all these girls in Jamaica and all this stuff. I'm like, wait a second. So your niece literally came to you in confidence, thinking that you're going to keep this information to yourself, and you decide to air it out on TV. Also, you have not talked to TT in a while. Who knows how long ago this whole cheatation happened? Like, we have no idea what the timeline is for this. If he did cheat or if he didn't cheat. Which I feel like maybe he did, because, they have that preview for the next episode. And I was like, ooh, what's happening there? But either way, maybe they have worked it out. You know what I'm saying? He trying to do right now. He got a whole child with this woman. Let these people be married. And then for Peppa to be like, yeah, because, maybe they worked it out. Because, they're supposed to be getting married. Is that true? Why are you asking Egypt if it's true when you already heard that TT and Maureen were planning something in Jamaica? Like, why are we playing dumb with this whole conversation? And then we have Egypt over here swearing that TT has stole her venue. She swears that TT has stole her location for her wedding. Like, girl, Jamaica is a whole island. You mean to tell me that you can't also have a wedding in Jamaica because TT's having a wedding there? And sorry, but her reasoning was not a strong enough reasoning in comparison to TT's. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, your roots are there, but let's be honest. You were raised here in America this whole time. Same thing with your mom. Your mom has been in America for I have no idea how long, about 50 years. Now, when it comes to TT, I think TT has stronger roots in Jamaica because her mom still lives there. I think TT has a portion of her life where she was raised in Jamaica. She met her fiance in Jamaica. Like, you see how that works? Like, it bothers me that Egypt sits up here and swears that, like, TT really did steal this idea from me. Like, girl, y'all have the same family roots. Y'all both are from Jamaica. Stop whining like a little brat. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next scene, which would be Vanessa at her pastry headquarters. And she has a little meet up with a few of the ladies so that they can see what she's been working on with pastry. I guess now it's going to be like an athletic wear type brand. I have no idea yet, but I am glad to see that she is back working on something. This is no diss to Vanessa, but I do feel like when she did sign that deal with pastry again, I did want to see her make something come to fruition because that was her brand, some years ago with her sister. And when her sister didn't sign that contract, I'm just like, I'm ready for Vanessa to prove that, she could do something without Angela. So hopefully, this pastry athletic wear will work out for her. I really do hope that. So anyway, so she has the ladies over, which was Brianna, Cree, Angela, and Tanise or whatever. And I actually like this group of ladies. They're just having like small talk about what they liked about what she had, like the pieces that she had, if they liked the materials, all this stuff, kind of like a focus group or whatever. And next thing you know, she's like, oh, well, Angela, can I talk to you? So Vanessa pulls Angela away, and she just wants to check in on her and basically be big sister and ask about what's going on with Angela's relationship. And Angela's like giving her short answers about how everything's good, everything's fine, you know. Vanessa really just wants to know what's going on with her sister, but she feels like her sister has been very guarded with information when it comes to her and Daniel. And I can definitely see both sides of this. I feel like this is Angela trying to keep her relationship to herself, but then also you have Vanessa who just wants to look out for her little sister's best interests at heart. So hopefully at some point Vanessa will meet this man, so that way she ain't got to worry about him anymore. But I feel like in real life those people aren't together, so there may be a chance that Vanessa didn't meet him and Angela and old boy broke up. Alright, let me just hop over to this next scene, which is Savannah getting ready for her date with Boogie. So she's getting ready for her date or whatever, and her brother is up FaceTiming her. Here is my issue with the show. Why hasn't Stevie Jr. met the rest of the cast of the show? We are already on episode 4, and we've only seen him film with his sister and with his dad. I want him to meet the rest of the cast already. But whatever. So, you know, he's like, you know, where you going? Why you looking all grown or whatever? And she's like, oh, I'm going on a date with Boogie. He's like, well, did you Google him? And then she proceeds to Google him right then and there. And of course, what comes up? Boogie has a domestic assault charge that he had. Something about him choking a girl over sex. And I'm just like, girl, you read all that and you still decide to go out on a date with him? Okay, girl, I guess it's for the show. But like in real life, if you were to read that, would you go out on a date with that guy? Real life, I'm really asking this question, y'all. Please answer in the comments. So, of course, once Boogie shows up, you know, they ride in a car together. He's trying to get to know her, but she has to ask him about this situation that he had. So he goes on to tell her about how he was out at a club or whatever. He was inviting girls back to his place. The girls showed up. You know, the girls that he met at the club showed up. And then whoever this other chick was, she came to his house. I don't know exactly what happened there because it got a little, I feel like something got cut out. Then some type of way he ended up hooking up with that girl at the end of the night. A couple of days later, the police arrest him and he hooked up with the girl again. I'm just like, this is too confusing for me. I'm just gonna say, all right, Boogie, you didn't do that. Okay, cool. Like, we're just gonna leave it there. So let's just go ahead and talk about this little date or whatever. First off, I forgot that this was even a double date. I completely forgot all about Egypt and Sam and them supposed to show up. So when everybody gets there, it's basically them having cooking lessons. And I'm like, okay, this is a really cute date. This is something I would totally be down for. So, the date is going pretty well, you know, everybody's vibing together. Sam wasn't too loud, so I wasn't that annoyed by him. But don't worry, he definitely showed his ass later. So, at one point, you have Sam talking about some, oh guys, let's do an OnlyFans shoot. And everybody's like, no, only you with your $3,500 a month is focused on OnlyFans, sir. That's a you thing, not a us thing. So after that, we get the discussion of, oh, Sam and Egypt, you guys are supposed to be getting married. What's going on with that? So Egypt goes on this whole spiel about how TT is planning to have her wedding in Jamaica, even though she had already told TT that that is where she wants her wedding to be. Like, at this point, I can honestly say I do not want this to be the topic of discussion every episode, but I feel like it will be. I feel like Egypt is going to drag this for the entire season. Okay, so she then goes on to say how, you know, her and basically her and her mom, they've tried to squash it, but TT keeps dragging all this on. And I'm like, how is she dragging anything on when she hasn't mentioned you guys? TT does not really talk about you guys unless someone asks, like, hey, have you heard from Peppa in Egypt? And she'll just say, no, they haven't reached out. I haven't reached out to them either. And it'd be like, period, point blank. But you and your mom are sitting around here having focus groups. Y'all out here having think pieces and everything else y'all can do about TT. And what are you doing right now? Every time you see somebody, you talk about who? TT. So, like, girl, cut it out. Now, one thing that I did not like about this scene was the fact that Silvana, she is already starting to take sides when it comes to this Egypt and TT thing. And I'm like, girl, you need to play it neutral all the way, because you were not here last season to know any of this stuff that went down. And, I mean, even this season, like, you haven't even met TT yet. Girl, chill out. And then we have Sam sitting up here going on a rant about who is TT, who is she related to in the industry. She's not hip-hop royalty, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry that TT just happens to be the niece of someone famous and she's doing her own thing. Like, I don't feel like TT is trying to take any shine from Egypt, considering Egypt isn't doing anything. You're sitting up here talking about how your girlfriend, Egypt, is supposed to be this and that, but baby, she's not on any type of level. Like, she's not her. She's not even Normani. She's not Cardi. She's not Doja Cat. Like, who do you think you're dating? Oh, my bad, because y'all are the Beyonce and Jay-Z. My bad. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next scene, which was Eric talking to JoJo. This was basically JoJo inviting him to his anniversary party. And of course, Eric is like, so who else are you inviting? And once JoJo said Brianna's name, he's like, oh, wait, will there be liquor involved? Because as we know, sometimes when Brianna gets drunk, yeah, another side of her comes out. She also does not get along with Eric's wife like that. And then on top of that, you know, once Eric is like, oh, what about Sam? JoJo's like, who is that? I don't know that person. And I'm like, I would be the same way. Why would I invite Sam? And of course that means that Egypt can't come. But at the end of the day, girl, you rolling with the wrong team. You and Sam, keep that over there. Alright, so we finally get to this anniversary party, and I will say Cree did a great job on all the decor. It looked really, really beautiful in there. So kudos to Cree. So everybody ends up arriving. Everybody's kind of looking nice. Okay, not everybody is looking nice, but for the most part, you know, there were some questionable outfits in that room, which would have to be Eric. I don't know where he was going. I feel like he thought it was like daytime and what he usually wears. His wife, questionable outfit. Somebody else had a questionable outfit. Oh yeah, Twist, real questionable. I'm just like, did you not get the point of the whole? No point of the whole thing. Okay. But besides that, you know, when everybody arrives, you know, you have Brianna who gets there. She's not feeling Boogie. She did give him a hug when she first got there, but you know, she's like, we need to talk later, because she really is feeling some type of way about him. So honestly, the whole Cree versus Twist thing, I'm just like, I really wonder how much back and forth they really had, because we only see, you know, a portion of what happened that night. But I definitely feel like there was a lot more back and forth between those two, because first of all, he wasn't in the dress code. Twist was very rude to her the entire time. And I usually like Twist, but not this episode, because he was rude to Cree for no reason. Like, she just wants this event to be, you know, the most presentable that it can be. You know, you out here smoking a blunt or whatever, putting the ashes on the floor. Like, who does that? Who raised you? And then once she's like, you know, put on your masquerade mask, he didn't want to do that. You know, she wanted them to move over a certain way. And, you know, so that way when JoJo and Denise walk in, she doesn't see anybody. he didn't want to participate in that, talking about how she's too big for everything for him, and all these negative things about her, how she looks like her dad. And of course you have some people who are like, why is it a bad thing for a girl to look like her dad? Well, it's no problem if a woman, she has the features of her dad. But the problem comes when a person says it to you and they're trying to be mean, and they're basically trying to say that you look masculine and you look manly. That right there, I'm not feeling. And I was not feeling the way Twist said that. But I did like her comeback when she was like, and what are you supposed to be, Wayne? Because let's think about it. If y'all remember what Twist used to look like, Twist used to look like a regular little black kid who like had like a high top fade or whatever, and he just like a regular kid. I have no idea what happened in the Young Money camp, but he did not talk like Wayne or anything like that. But now he talks like Wayne, he moves like Wayne, the hair is like Wayne. Like, it is kind of weird, just saying. So Tenise finally arrives with JoJo, and I was so happy that she was happy, because they have been through so much within this past year, just with them losing the baby and all these things that occurred. So I was happy that she was able to celebrate something and be happy with her husband. I actually really like Tenise and JoJo, so I actually don't mind this whole anniversary party. So JoJo says a speech or whatever, and next thing you know, after he's done with the speech, he's talking to TT like, oh, so what's going on with you guys' wedding planning? Am I invited? What's going on? And she's like, well, I never thought that I would have a destination wedding, but Sean was like, that's where we met. That's where a lot of the roots are. So, of course, we're going to have it in Jamaica. So JoJo is now hyped like, oh, yeah, we're going to have, keep in mind, he keeps saying we, are going to Jamaica. And all I can think is, here goes Savannah. Like, she literally has the stankiest look on her face because, as we already know, she has only heard Egypt's side of the story. And once she heard, them mention Jamaica, did y'all peep when she, tapped Boogie? And I'm just like, girl, relax and chill out. All because you made a new friend in Egypt does not mean that you know everything that's going on. Pipe down and calm down. So once JoJo starts talking to Cree about this showcase, I have no idea why Cree was like, Savannah should host it. I'm like, Savannah? Of all the people, Savannah? Like, I would rather see Brianna host something, but definitely not Savannah. And anyways, next thing you know, TT comes up, and JoJo has no idea how bad the situation has gotten with the family. You can clearly tell that, because he's like, what do you think about Egypt doing a showcase? Not Sam. I'm not trying to, involve him, of course not, but he thinks it would be a good idea for Egypt. And TT did the right thing by saying, I have no answer to that. I have no comment, no nothing. Don't give them nothing, because according to them, you're the one who keeps stirring everything up, even though you have no comments for them. All right, let's go ahead and move on to this whole Brianna Boogie situation. So first things first, you have Savannah going down there to go talk to Brianna or whatever, and they chop it up a little bit. Next thing you know, Boogie shows up. They talk about how they went on this date or whatever, and then of course Brianna has already been drinking, and then once you talk about y'all going on a double date with Egypt and Sam, it's like, all right, let's go ahead and talk about it. So of course she's calling him out for not being loyal and for him allowing Sam and Egypt to keep talking bad about her. And I completely understand what she's saying, because the way that Brianna is, she would not let anybody talk trash about him, about Twist, anybody who she's really close with. But on the other hand, you have a guy, and I feel like most of the time, guys, they do just kind of sit there. They are not really good at being like, hey, don't talk about so-and-so. They are really good at just sitting there and letting somebody talk. And I feel like that's exactly what what's his name? Boogie did. He just let Sam yap because he already knew Sam wasn't gonna shut up. But unfortunately, at this point, like, dude, you're hurting your friend because you should have said something. Like, it's okay for Sam to just yap about any old thing, but the way Sam and Egypt was going off about Brianna, nope. The same way how Sam went off about TT earlier in this episode when they were at the cooking class or whatever, talking about who is she, what does TT do, all this stuff. I was just like, dude, you probably should have stepped in and been like, yo, y'all gotta chill out on that. Like, let's just have a good date. But nope, you just sit there and let them ramble. So at this point, the conversation was going okay, and then it flipped again. And at that point, it was the end of the night. It was time for everybody to go. And Boogie and Brianna, they were still going and getting into it afterwards. He was trying to have the conversation off camera. I feel like he knew that she was drunk. And he's like, girl, I'm not trying to let you embarrass yourself. But at the same time, what Brianna was saying was all facts. So that pretty much summed up this entire episode. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.